guys? This is the No Name Game Show, a show without a name that's all about games. My name is Dr3amerPlays, and today I'm joined by my guy, my Macaroshus life. How you doing today, bro?
What's good, bro? How you doing?
I'm all right. I'm chilling, man. It's a nice sunny day out here in Los Angeles. I think it's about 80 degrees. What is it looking like on the East Coast?
It's about 80, but we are supposed to get this hurricane coming in, so a little worrisome, but we should be all right.
Yeah. What is it called? Isaiah or something like that?
Yeah, Isaiah. I think it's made its way already through Florida, so it should be here either by tonight or tomorrow.
Oh man. Sheesh. Okay, so hopefully it's not a another Sandy issue. You know, that was bad back in the day when they.
That was definitely bad, but at this point, after the pandemic, I think we gotta expect the worst.
You got hope for the best, but plan for the worst, right? Oh man, I know how it goes. All right, so we've both been streaming for about a month now. We've both had our separate experiences as streamers. Have you been able to play with any of your viewers yet in a game?
I have not been able to play with any viewers yet. Definitely looking for people who want to play some of these games with me. You know, you can see me in Discord. You can hit me up. You can email me at macaroshusgaming@gmail.com. But unfortunately, not yet. I've just been playing with people that I already have a relationship with, like you. But definitely looking forward to playing with viewers today.
Okay. Well, speaking of games that you can play with viewers, Fall Guys is an upcoming game that's being released from Mediatonic. Fall Guys is an MMO free-for-all for up to 60 players. Players compete in various challenges, hoping to qualify for the next round, eventually being the last one standing. The challenges shift between free-for-all and co-op. It's been compared to Wipeout, but I think it's more like MXC, most extreme challenge. Now, do you remember MXC?
Definitely remember MXC. I definitely remember the captain. It was probably the funniest show on television that no one really knew about.
Yeah, man. Like, and till this day, it's still like one of my faves. I absolutely love that show if I can get that. So maybe we could do like a MXC type of vibe where we're hosting. Yeah, while we're hosting.
That's a classic show. I think it used to come on G4 TV, which no longer exists.
Which is why I'm doing this, because I miss G4, you know?
Exactly. G4 TV was the best, and it's no longer with us.
Yeah. So, at the current moment right now, at the time of this video, Fall Guys is actually ranked number 4 and number 5 for the top selling games in the Steam store, and it's almost impossible to get a game key right now before the release. I tried so much yesterday and the day before. Well, mostly yesterday, the devs were playing the game, and every 15 seconds they would show a key, and I was trying, and every time I tried, I would try, but all the keys were used already. They even put I think it was like 500 keys up on their Twitter page. I was trying different ones at random. Eventually, Steam was just like, listen, bro, you tried too many. Can't try any more keys today. That's it. So I gave up on that. But all is not lost. If you weren't able to get a key and you weren't able to play any of the game as it is right now, it does come out in about 2 days on August 4th, and it is available for pre-purchase right now for $19.99. Now, being that everybody is comparing it to Wipeout, I think it's more like MXC. What do you think, Mike? Is this more like a Wipeout or an MXC type of game?
Well, I'm gonna definitely give the credit to MXC, because I think Wipeout is a spin-off or rip-off, if you call it that, or you can call it that, of MXC, and that's what this kind of reminds me of, because it's not so much of just the games, it's the silliness, it's the falling down, it's the embarrassing yourself, it's
right.
role play. And that's what I enjoy, because it's something that you could talk trash while playing, because it's supposed to be funny. You're supposed to be laughing at your character and at other people's characters. So I definitely think it's more MXC. Wipeout they tried to do that, but they didn't have the commentary, and this allows you to probably self-commentary yourself and others. So it definitely looks like it'll be good fun.
Yeah. Now, when you say self-commentary, what do you mean? You mean like while you're playing the just to explain that.
Oh yeah, because you could kind of role play with your character a bit because the characters are so much fun. So you could just you could be like,
right.
like I got the ultimate Frogger and I'm just leave, like get out of here with your chicken. You know what I mean? Like stuff like that. So and that's kind of like what made MXC so great was not only the people who were competing, but it was the commentary. And that's what
exactly.
Games like this, you can enjoy the commentary because it is a challenge. So it gives you that opportunity to just be competitive in what you say, but now because it's also fun and embarrassing at the same time, you can throw that comedy into it, where it's not just like hardcore competitive. You suck. It's more of a like I can't believe that just happened.
Like it's more of a joke. It's like it's not like you said. It's not hardcore. It's something that almost anybody can pick up and jump right into and have a lot of fun.
Right.
Because as streamers, one of the things that I noticed is that a lot of people play like MMOs and PvPs and stuff, but for people, even like me, I'm not that fond of like first-person shooters and stuff like that. So I think this will be perfect for people who aren't fond or who just aren't good at first-person shooters. It gives them another way to compete with other people and still have a good time and be fun and be competitive.
Right. See, first person and things like that, those are all Twitch response games. Like that's what they really test is how quickly you can react and respond to things. But and I'm not saying that you don't have to think and have a strategy. You do, but the strategy is honestly more muscle memory, and you just remember maps, you remember patterns, and then you just train your fingers to react. But this is different because this is something where it's not always going to be about reaction. You are going to have to plan ahead because it's a competition.
Right.
So you might know, I'm not good at this map, but I'm a master one of these other maps because I'm trying to compete with people. But it's a lot more involved than I just gotta shoot them. It's I gotta outrace them, and also I can knock them off things and eliminate their characters. So there's a lot more planning. Maybe you're not, your interest is also to finish the race just as much as it is to eliminate other people.
Right. True. Which makes total sense. And I definitely think it is going to be one of the top games of the year. I think I expect to see a lot more streamers and a lot more people play this game. And speaking of a game that everyone is playing right now, everybody and their mama is playing this game right now, and it is called Grounded. Excuse me. Grounded is the most recent release from the dev team at Obsidian. Obsidian is best known for Halo, but also Age of Empires, State of Decay 2, and of course, Sea of Thieves. Grounded is currently the #1 top seller on the Steam store. It is a Honey, I Shrunk the Kids style survival game that shrinks gamers down to the size of ants and tosses them in a suburban backyard. Currently, the game is still in early access, so anything that's currently in the game right now has the potential to be removed and replaced by the time this game is officially released in 2021. So, Mike and I have had the opportunity to play this game for a number of hours over the past, it's been a week that we played it. Yeah. So, we've definitely gone through and had some pros, some cons, some issues with the game. So let's just kick it off with the cons. What were some of the cons that you had with the game so far, Mike?
Well, first thing I want to say is shout out to Microsoft for finally realizing that they got to invest in some studios to make quality games for them. So, Obsidian Studios was a huge purchase by them. So, good job on that. In terms of the game, the cons, it's not too many, but you do notice them immediately once you start playing the game. And the first thing is lack of a tutorial. You get in the game and you're like, okay, there's some tooltips, there's some, do this or do that, but it doesn't truly explain, I would say like strengths and weaknesses, what you can and cannot do. It doesn't tell you that. So even though you're telling me what to do, you also are putting me in this giant world where it's like, am I limitless or do I have limits? Am I capable of anything, or am I, once again, am I limited and I can't just do everything that I want? So it's kind of like, should I follow these immediate quests when I first get into the game, or can I just explore right away? But because they don't really guide you in any kind of way, I think that's one of the things that's lacking.
Yeah, I would totally agree. It is definitely, I felt the exact same way as soon as I joined into the game. The first thing, like you said, I was like, okay, am I going to follow the quest, or should I just try to build a shelter? What do I do? It's really little to no hand-holding at all in the game. But speaking on it now, I think it might be more of a story slash gameplay element. Some games do that, to where as you're progressing through the story, they're teaching you at the same time.
Right.
And since it's still in early access and only about, what was it, 20% of the game, I think they said, is 20% of the story is available right now.
Right.
Maybe that's for later on. But one other thing, if what we played is 20% of the story, that means that there's 60% left. So if we do the math, I think that was a total of what? Maybe we probably beat that story in what, like an hour and a half?
And I
so
think
then what do you,
if you just go straight to it, you could probably do it in about 30-40 minutes.
Right. So then you're telling me what? It's only like 4 hours, 4.5 hours of story in the whole game? So that's one thing I'm kind of like, whoa, like, are you serious? Because then maybe they may be banking on the fact of the that it has a lot more replayability. Maybe they'll do more what is it called? More DLCs, because I do know they have different biomes. We were able to explore some of the different places in the game as it is right now. So I think as the game progresses, they'll continue to add more stuff. But with sticking with some of the other cons that I saw, spiders glitching through the walls, like we're trying to build our bases, and the spiders are glitches, like their legs are coming through. When you're trying to put walls, there's jumping all over the place. The water glitches. Enemies camp when you're down, like when the spider kills you or it knocks you down, they just hang around over your body.
Right.
So it's a number of things, and I don't want to berate the game and just down it. Obviously I know it's still early access and the devs are working really, really hard, and they've done a phenomenal job with what we have so far. But I just want to be open and honest and put it out there so that if for whatever reason any of the devs ever come across this video, they know exactly what myself and the community thinks and what things, should definitely be fixed before the game releases in 2021. So, pros. What are the pros besides it being a phenomenal game that I can't wait to play? So it takes me a while. Well, not that it takes me a while, but it's kind of difficult not to play and to save it for the stream.
Right.
So what's been some of your favorite moments in the game so far?
Well, the first thing is visually, like, wow. Like, I know it's a cartoony style, so it's not going to be for everyone, but if you actually look at the level of detail for a game that's still in early access, it's a beautiful game. The animations are smooth. You get a few glitches here or there, but there's games that's been out for years that can't even do pathing right. And this, you don't even have pathing issues with your character in this. Like, that's not even the issue. If you aim properly, you can hit it. Now, the cursor's a little off, so they're going to have to look at the cursor. But at least you can see where you're aiming. And
sorry to cut you off, Mike, but I did realize when I played on Friday is that the cursor is only off in third person.
Right? Yep.
But when you're in first person, it's spot on.
And that's a cool aspect of the game where now you also learn, like, okay, maybe if I'm gonna fight, I gotta switch. And maybe if you're fleeing, okay, I'll stay in third person because I need to see the wide map. But if I'm going to actually engage in battle, well, I just got to switch to first person. So, and that's cool that you have that ability to switch in and out.
Right. Right. Yeah, and then another thing that I like is that it's overall it's a fresh twist on the survival genre. We haven't seen a game like this. We've never had a Honey I Shrunk the Kids type of game in this way. From the first time I started playing, one of the first things I said, and some of my viewers when we were watching, is like, man, this reminds me of Ants. You know, the animated movie from back in the day. So I really loved it. The crafting is simple, easy to understand, easy to just get right into. So that's one thing. Even though it has a lack of instructions, it's a simple enough game that if you played it for 30 minutes or an hour, you'd get it down pat.
Right.
You know, you don't really have to spend too many times on a wiki page or many hours watching people play the game on YouTube to figure out exactly how to play it. You can literally play it for yourself, and within the first hour or so be somewhat of an expert and know exactly how to do things, with the exception of the robot. That's the only thing I was kind of confused about. I definitely had to go and do some research and figuring out how to unlock different things in the game.
Like that, because that wasn't straightforward at all. It's like almost you had to decode what he was trying to tell you before you say, oh, okay, that's how I get to the other options. But that's why it's like it's kind of unfair to talk about the lack of tutorial too much, because it does explain some things in terms of making things simple enough that you can just do it, and you don't got to really catch on. It's just like it's hard when you don't know what your limitations and capabilities are, because then you're like, all right, you know, can I swim? Oh, I guess I'll figure out when I jump in the water. But,
yeah,
but you know what I mean? But it's like, what if I would have died right there and had to start all over? You know, or start over? It's like, oh, that would have been, you know, like, come on. So, but you know, still, like in terms of more pros, the world just seems alive. Like you know when you're in another creature's habitat. You know, like if you're territorial, they will attack you. If they're not, they'll just walk right past you. They might come up to you just to be interested in what are you, and then they keep it moving. So I definitely like how the world feels alive. You got the wolf spiders that hunt at night. You have the earth spiders who just pretty much roam around their own realm. So that's well designed. I'm pretty sure as the game evolves, it's going to even be more creatures and more things. So for what they have right now, the world feels alive. You don't feel alone in the world.
At all. And there are a lot of games like that, especially since like I'm trying to do more survival stuff. A lot of survival games, you definitely feel like you're in a world that's unlived in. Even when it comes to like zombies and stuff, it's just not different enough. There isn't enough variety in the type of enemies and biomes for you to feel like you're immersed in the world. But if this is what an unfinished game looks like, then I am definitely looking forward to 2021 when Grounded releases officially.
Right. No, yeah, because like at this stage, like the game is amazing. I have it up in the background right now because I just love the game. But definitely, I think most survival games do struggle because it's like, do we put too much in the game where it takes away from the character and having to figure things out, or do we remove these objects from the game? But then, are we making it too scarce? And this game does a good job of just a good combination of scarce and a lot of objects. So, it has a vast amount of creatures. You can find areas that have no creatures. You can learn patterns of some of the creatures in the game. Like, if they don't go near water, they won't swim, they won't climb. So, like, that's a really cool aspect. Besides those few glitches, which I'm sure they'll polish up at some point. But besides the glitches, you can kind of like, avoid dangerous situations or have an escape plan in dangerous situations if you understand the pattern of those creatures. So
I mean, it seems like we're both in agreement that while Grounded does have some cons, there are definitely way more pros than there are cons. So we're all looking out for Grounded to come out in 2021. And as I already said at the beginning of this segment, Grounded is the #1 top seller in the Steam store right now. Everybody is playing Grounded right now. So if you haven't got the chance,
sorry to cut you off,
go grab it.
I saw a guy yesterday. He was going through what's the top stream games right now, and he said Grounded. What is that? The game with the bugs? And, he was so shocked that was the game that was #1, but that was the #1 game streaming. He was like, oh man, he was looking for Call of Duty. He was looking for everything else, and he was like, wait, Grounded? Like really?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
you know what? I'm not gonna lie. I was shocked too because as a streamer, one of the strategies as streamers that I use, I should say, is that I try to play games that aren't too saturated because like the way that Twitch is set up, the more viewers you have, the higher your video ranks, which would then mean more people can watch your video. But if there's 300 other people who are streaming this game, it's a lot more difficult to break in. So here I am waiting for Grounded because I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do survival on my channel and I'm just gonna focus on survival. And then Grounded released and I'm like, great. And then everybody's playing freaking Grounded. I did not expect that. Oh man, that definitely took me for a surprise. But since we're already talking about what it's like being streamers, we're both at about a month in. How's your first month as a streamer been?
I mean, it's been fun. I enjoy doing it. I enjoy gaming. I enjoy interacting with people. I think for me, I actually just got to get a solid schedule down so I can really engage even more and just have more fun. Because I think when you're a little too stagnant, one, it's hard to build with your audience because they don't know how reliable you are, and also you kind of lose your place. Where did I leave off? What was I doing last? And then once you lose that feel for your audience, you gotta recapture. Okay, what is it that they want again? What were they expecting again? And it's a lot easier if you just stay consistent. So that's what I'm looking forward to. Is consistency is everything. And, it's no different from doing anything else in life. But for this is probably the most important thing is consistency, because people want to make sure when they go on, they're gonna see you. And
right.
and the world we live in today, the moment they don't see you, they'll see someone else.
Exactly. There's always someone else waiting in the wind. Yeah. Agreed, man. So for me, my first month has been great as well. I definitely have been enjoying my time here. But as you said, getting the schedule together is definitely one of the biggest hurdles to figure out the best time to streams, because certain games only work at certain times in the day. There's entire websites dedicated to letting you know what time in the day you should stream certain games. For example, I was playing Doki Doki Literature Club at one time, and that's better in the morning than it is at night, because at night you may have more people who are interested in PvP and Call of Duty and things like that. So it's kind of like trying to find your place within the Twitch ecosystem, but at the same time it be something comfortable for you to do, and something that you can be consistent at doing as well. So I'm semi comfortable with my schedule as it is now, but my thing is that the real work actually starts after the stream, because it's after the stream that's when we have all the other stuff we got to focus on, which is the YouTube and the other social media platforms, the Facebook, the editing. So that's what I'm thinking about for this week now, that after we stream, now I got to start editing my videos so that I can put them on YouTube, because I've just been putting the raw stream.
Right.
Yeah, I just put in the raw stream, but it's kind of like they can already get that on Twitch. Right. So I gotta offer something different on each platform in order for it to make sense.
Right.
So that's where I'm at with that. But I definitely love it. But one important thing for me is not to make this become a job, not to make it feel like a burden,
Right.
you know, because I don't ever want to be like, oh man, I gotta stream right now, you know,
Right.
like
because then your whole demeanor is going to change, your energy is going to change, and then
exactly
the audience will see it, and then they'll turn off from it.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm trying to
And
avoid too. And that's why I'm also trying to find games that you can play with people, because that's what you're ultimately trying to connect with people. So I definitely want to play games that are more people oriented, and it's not more of a I'm always trying to shoot somebody and just stuff like that. Like I still love the Call of Duty. Don't get me wrong. I'm still gonna play games like that. But I think if you want to connect with your audience, you got to play games that's more inclusive and has different kind of challenges.
Right. Yeah, totally. So so now one thing I've been noticing with Twitch is that you'd see some people who are growing, and they're growing normally, and let's just say they have 100 followers, but every time they stream they may have like 7 or 10, right, who are actually in the stream. Now I've also seen large streamers, big name channels who are verified that have, let's say, 100,000 followers, and then in the viewers it'll be like 1,000 viewers, but maybe like 2 people are leaving comments in the chat, and I'm like,
right,
that doesn't feel right, like something's off. So I was doing some research, and apparently there's a thing called view bots, where people pay to actually have bots be in their chat so that it boosts their numbers. And I think I think it is the whole reaching partner, and not only reaching partner but maintaining your partnership status,
right,
that kind of forces people to use view bots after a while. So,
right.
So have you heard of view bots?
Definitely heard about that. And it's the pressure on the streamer now to reach the quotas, to get these affiliate, to reach these affiliate programs and partnerships. So I understand it, especially for people that's trying to make a living out of it.
Right.
If you're trying to make a living out of it, do whatever you have to do. But if you're just trying to build an audience and like a kinship, a relationship with fans, then I definitely don't think that's the way to go about it, because you're gonna have artificial numbers, and who's gonna take you seriously at that point? Because I definitely seen it. I've seen like, wow, you got that. Like the follower thing, I understand, because sometimes you can other people can give you follow bots.
Yeah.
And you don't have control of it if someone else will start sending you followers. You don't control that.
Yeah.
So the following numbers, I get it. But it's definitely when you start seeing the followings and the viewers, and then the chat is empty. Then it's like, okay, wait, I'll give you a pass for the followers, and maybe I can give you a pass for the viewers. Maybe it's just lurkers, but nobody's talking. You know what I mean? Like then the whole picture, looks fake. You know what I mean? So
yeah, it looks weird. And then I'm sure, like on some end, like that has to be like painful, to you as a streamer, to know, every time I'm streaming I have to pay to get bots in there just so that it looks like people are in here with me.
Right.
Which means that maybe instead you should change up what you're doing content wise, or maybe like different games, interact more. It's something that you're not doing as a streamer, because here's the thing. We've already talked about how Twitch works, which is the more viewers you have, the higher you are, which means more people are likely to come into your video. So if you have 100 view bots, right, and you're, let's say, like you're the 10th video out of all the videos for this particular game, there should be actual people coming into your game all the time. So the fact that none of these people are trying to chime in and interact with you at all, it should say something about the way that you're doing your game.
Right. It's definitely you. I feel like some of these guys don't even or probably girls too, they're not even giving themselves a chance because they're automatically, you know how it's like though, it's almost like trying out a new game, especially like an MMO type. And you see people at the top level and you see they got the flashy gear and you're like, oh, I'm never going to get there. So what do? You go into the pay shop and you buy it, and you buy the gear, and you buy it, and then you say, like, I got my flashy things on too. And that's what these people say. They're like, all right, wait, I want to play Grounded. Oh man, look how many people are streaming Grounded. How am I going to compete with that guy? Like, he's known, like he's already got such and such. So it's like, all right, if I'm going to get my stream scene, I'm gonna pay. Now, think about it like this: you paid, you got the followers, you got the viewers, and you still don't have people chatting. Clearly, at that point, it's not even. It's just you, because
it's you.
You would be able to at least maintain some sort of following because your ranking would be up there with the amount of viewers you have. So people would say, okay, let me see what this guy's about. Now they click in and say, oh no, this is horrible. Then you know what I mean? Like that's the real reason why you don't have people chatting and engaging with you yet is because they just don't like your content. They don't like, or they don't like the way you deliver the content. So
agreed. It's definitely a trial and error type of thing, and you know, people just got to put in the time and work on it. You know, I'm still working on it. One of the big things is to create a community. You always see that when people are giving advice about Twitch, create a community. And one of the things about a community has expectations. So it really does come down to, I'm not going to tell anybody to niche down, but that's what I did because I figured it'd be a lot easier for me to find a community. I know one thing I did read early on is that you should always start with one game. So a lot of how I have some of my repeat viewers right now is because when I first started, all I played was Minecraft Dungeons, which is a fun game. However, it's limited, you know, because it's only a few boards. It's kind of a button masher. You know, so after a while, it's kind of like, I don't really want to play this anymore. But it's like, okay, am I going to play this just for my viewers, even though I'm not happy? Because then it's not going to be good content for them because I'm going to be bored and I'm going to be yawning and I don't want to play. And then it's going to become a burden. And that's what it was becoming. It was starting to become a burden to want to stream because it's like, I don't even feel like playing this right now. You know, so that's what started my journey on trying to find other games, and then I just started going all over the place. So again, I think it's all about creating your community and figuring out how to create your community, how to engage with them, and really figure out what it is that they expect from you, and to, you know, make sure you meet those expectations every time you stream.
And I would definitely agree with that. Like, you know, I had that same. Well, I did the opposite of you. I just bounced from game to game, which is probably why you have much more success than me in this first month, because I was just bouncing around because I was already had it in my mind. I don't want to have that burnout, you know, just burden feeling. So I was just saying, all right, let me try this game. Nah, this game ain't gonna do it for me, so let me try that game. Nah, that game's not gonna do it for me, try this game. So it wasn't until we really linked up and then we sort of said, wait, what's something that we both can do and that we both might be interested in? And that's why we kind of gravitated towards Grounded, because we definitely tried the Call of Duties and, you know, Division 2, and no disrespect to those games. They are fun, but I feel like they're like, in the moments in which you want to do that, you play those games. But if you want something that's like long lasting, that you can interact with people, with the audience, and kind of immerse yourself in it, then, you know, you might have to look for some other games, and that's what I think we found with Grounded.
Totally agree. So, so being that we're talking about Grounded right now, our schedules, I think Mike will be playing with me for most of the times when we do Grounded, and we usually play Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. If there's ever any discrepancy in schedules, of course we would let you know, but, you know, check out our streams, 11 a.m. PST, what is that, 2 p.m. Eastern time, right? So check us out. We play Grounded on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Sundays we're gonna be doing more of the No Name Game Show. I'm also thinking maybe, one day during the week we'll pick maybe like either a Monday or a Wednesday. Maybe we'll like test out a new game. For example, like when Fall Guys comes out, maybe that could be like a Wednesday game that we try out, and then that way we kind of like work other games into the schedule,
Right.
while still maintaining a schedule. We just switch out games or something like that in a way where the audience isn't too like, it's not abrupt for them,
Right. And maybe we'll even like
All
get
right.
some audience input and be like, hey, would you guys like to see us? We can do some Q&As and we can definitely do different things. That's
sure.
what I was thinking about. Maybe do like a little mailbag, situation where we like let people send us questions, about what's about Grounded, like how can we do this? Can we do that? And we'll definitely respond to it when we get a chance to.
Yeah, for sure. So, definitely, if you have any games that you'd like us to review, you'd like us to talk about, you'd like us to play, definitely hit us up. You can hit up Mike on his channel. It's My Macaroshus Life. All of the links should be there for you to reach out to him. Same with me, Dr3amerPlays. You just reach out to me on my channel. All of the links will be below the video as well for you to click and reach out to me. But thank you for joining us. My name is Dr3amerPlays.
And I'm the Macaroshus.
There you go. That's my guy, Macaroshus. And this has been the very first episode of the No Name Game Show, a show without a name that's all about games. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next Sunday. Peace.
Laters.